metering solution, as well as other IoT related solutions that helps in the energy space. I'm sure that we're all familiar with our smart prepaid meters. And the unique thing about our smart prepaid meters is that they are dual. All our prepaid meters are dual in the sense that they work for the grid power source as well as other forms of power like your generator, your solar, and the like. One of the unique thing again is that you can set your own price. You set your own price for each of the power sources that you will be using. Um, it also gives you the flexibility of having full control over your power. Say in your malls, your apartments, or whatever facility it is that you're managing, having the ability to monitor and control what goes on with your electricity. Also, we into water prepaid meters and gas prepaid meters, and all of these are smart. You control it, you control the meter using our application, the application that we have created specifically for our users. More so, we are also into smart city enhancement. We we offer services that makes your estate smart, your community smart, and all of that. We're encouraging a smart environment. Um, we also have
Nobody's talking.
right. I think we lost.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I hope you've been hearing what I've been saying before now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So kindly mute yourself, Mr. Akive. Also,
I
we have
thought we're
a
about to start
partnership.
now.
We have a partnership program for all that will be willing to partner with us. We're calling facility managers. We're calling business enthusiasts. We're calling people who will be interested in marketing. And we'll be willing to support you in every way possible to see that this comes to pass, because one of our goals, one of our vision is to improve lives and support individuals. So how does this partnership work? Now, we need people, facility managers and what have you, that would connect us to projects, estate projects, apartment projects, malls, and all. If you connect us to a project and the project becomes successful, if we're given this project, we would reimburse you with 5% of whatever the cost of the project is. Now, let me reiterate that. If you bring a project to us, right, and this project costs, say, 10 million naira, 5% of 10 million naira is 500,000 naira. We are going to give you 500,000 naira. So 5% of any deal you bring to us, regardless of who you are, facility manager, an individual that wants to do business, um, and all of that. So there's more to come, and hopefully, if we have some more time after the main presentation, I would let that out to you. So I'll be handing over to Miss Peace from here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I would like to thank everyone that took out of their busy time to join this meeting. We truly appreciate. And Mr. Chi, thank you for talking about what we do at IBOTECH. Thank you so much. So now I'll be handing over to Mr. Ability ACN, who is the CEO of IBOTECH Limited, to take us on the topic for today, which is energy tariff structure. So, Mr. ACN Ability, you're welcome, sir.
All right, thank you very much. We're very delighted to have everyone here. I can see that both those who are tenants, residents in communities, and those who are facility managers are on this webinar. We actually want to have a culture of having this webinar, once in a month to start with, where we educate facility managers on trending issues, topics, challenges, case studies, and then we build ourselves up. Today is more on energy tariff structure in gated communities and malls, right? And this is a comprehensive guide for optimization. Of course, before I want to delve into our topic, just a very, very little introduction about um, IBOTECH. We are a leading energy solutions provider. We are a leading energy solutions provider. So we're not just in deploying smart prepaid meters, energy solutions. So be it energy monitoring, be it power as a service, be it monitoring your diesel consumption, be it monitoring your energy usage, anything that involves energy, right? We are, providing solutions to resolve that. And, for us, we want to transform energy to be more transparent, visible, and traceable. And that is our one of our watchword is to say every energy that is being generated must be traceable, must be accountable, and must be visible and paid for, right? So, which is, one thing that we invest heavily to ensure we achieve. Our mission is powering Africa differently, right? So we also have this school of thought that you can't do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, right? So we want to we're coming up with the different models, different insights on how we can tackle issues, especially related to energy, right? We are currently in 14 cities, 3 countries, and like we said, transparent monitoring, secured payments, and energy solutions, which are core. To also understand what energy tariff is, we know that tariff is something that is very key in communities, in estates, in malls. We've had issues where estate managers are fighting with the tenants are fighting with estate managers, developers are fighting with the association of or the escos are fighting, and there's a lot of trouble or drama when it comes to energy or tariff. In fact, study says that for every community, energy takes 60 to 70% of the cost of running that community, right? So it's a very, very important subject. And when we talk about energy tariff, right, all over the world, it's on 2 dimensions. One is to say we want to recover our cost, right? So the cost of generating power, selling power, distributing this power, it has to be recovered. And for gated communities, there are 2 costs. There is a main cost,
Bro,
which is
bro,
the
bro,
main,
the main
which is
reason
the
I
main
think this
meter cost.
because of the tariff, you tariff
Hello,
plan people will be charging 280 for tariff.
hello, sir. You can hold on. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. So there's a main cost, right? There's a main cost from the disco, which they deploy distribution company like popularly known, let's say NEPA, right? So the NEPA guys will deploy a main meter for some people, which is called an MD, or maximum demand meter. Now, this maximum demand meter will check the total consumption. And of course, we know that there are also service bands. For some people, they are on the band A, which is 206.9 per kilowatt. And if you add VAT to it, it's now 225, naira per kilowatt, for those in band A. For those in band B, it's about 64, naira per kilowatt. If you add your VAT to it, it gets to 68 or 65, 69 naira. And band C, band D, until you get to band E, right? And those are the service band. So first is cost recovery, right? And also, there's another part for gated community where the developer or the ESCO or the association or the estate is now generating their own energy, either be through diesel generator or other means, right? And they need to recover that cost. So, which is a key component. And when we look at, the two cost recovery that needs to be recovered in terms of generation and distribution in gated communities, one is fixed and the other one is not fixed. Now, for the fixed one, the power coming from NEPA or the DISCO, as we know, right? The distribution companies, right, is fixed. We know how much the tariff is. So it is based on what I use, and that is what I'm being billed for, or that is what the maximum demand meter reads. The other that is not fixed is the energy I am generating from diesel. Because diesel can go up and down, my consumption can go up and down. So my spending sometimes on diesel is not fixed. And apart from that, the service contract, that is being signed, that, oh, I'm going to provide 20 hours power supply, 24 hours power supply to the residents in this community, 16 hours, would also affect, the cost that is going into generating that power from the diesel generator, and which is one of the things that causes issue within communities and estate and malls. The other reasons why tariff are also put in place is for efficiency. In other countries, and currently, it's something that they are currently looking at, especially the regulators in Nigeria are currently looking at, right, to encourage energy usage. So for that, it's more on demand-based rates to say that, okay, if you use energy up to this kilowatts, you pay small. If you cross this threshold in terms of energy you've used, you pay more. So in that way, it helps to ensure that people manage their energy, and those who use more, pay more. There are different tariff structures. For example, in other countries, we have what we call the time of use tariff. Time of use tariff is to say, depending on the time, I will charge you a different tariff at night. I'll charge you a different tariff at the day. I'll charge you a different tariff at the weekend, or however it wants to be done. And that is what we call TOU rate, time of use tariff. There's another tariff structure that is called demand-based tariff. That demand-based tariff, it charges the highest power demand during that billing period. So if the billing period now, I want to, I deploy a demand-based tariff, how much I am spending currently to produce that power, that is what I'm charging. So in that way, the rate tariff will go up and down depending on my own expense. So for example, let's say an estate has 20 tenants. We're also going to case studies, but let's say you have 20 tenants and generator is on, and it's costing me, let's say 20,000, per hour to generate that power and sell in terms of my diesel and everything put in place. Then I will charge the tariff based on that. And when it goes down, I will charge the tariff base. So that's called demand-based tariff. There's another one that is special contract. So for this one is to say, okay, yes, these are people that use high, load, right? And then we say minimum take or pay, to say if you use this, whatever you use on top of it, I don't mind, as long as you pay me this minimum, right? And that's for the special contract model. The load factor and power factor. So it also charges based on power utilization, compared to the peak. So these are just the four basic, tariff schemes that are available. Now, when we talk about time of use tariff, which I've explained, is a model that changes based on the day, the time, the season, and the benefits is it reduce power, it reduce the load on you, because you know that during your afternoon, for example, most residents are not around. Some persons have gone to work. Some persons are around and they need power. Then I can charge more based on that, or I can charge less based on that. Maybe I'm generating more at that time and I want people to use, because power is wasting, then I could charge less so that people will use that power more at that time. Or maybe my cost of generating that power is so much and the number of people on that generator at that time is low, then I can charge more based on that. So that is called time of use tariff, and you see the implementation there, different pricing at different times. We have the demand base, which I already talked about, based on the cost, how much it is costing you to generate power at that time, right? Which is the demand based tariff. The special contract, minimum load, cost alignment and things like that. And so for tariff, for us to determine how much it will cost to sell power in a community, there are key components that are involved. And sometimes what we've seen is that there's a misalignment in many communities on these key components. The first is how much it is costing me to generate this power. And that cost of generating the power includes fuel, which is your diesel, labor, and maintenance. Now, what we've also seen is that for some facilities, communities, they sort of put the maintenance costs of maintaining that power, that generator, inside the service charge. Well, why that can be good, sometimes it's not good, right? Because the cost of generating that power, including the maintenance, need to be put in place, right? And that is a very key component, which is the generation cost. The second is how much it's costing me to take this power from this point to this point, right? In communities, yes, I mean, this infrastructure have already been built, right? So it might not be a case. The third is the distribution, the cost of distributing this energy to the end users. Also, in many facilities, communities, gated communities, this has already been taken care of, right? And it's not a factor. The last is the tax, VAT, or any other fee that needs to be included, right? Which is also a key factor, because for some communities, right, they do not look at that tax, VAT, or things associated to that, right? So like we've said, these are key components in determining your tariff in your community. Now, we want to talk about some of the methods, right? Some of the methods in ensuring that you have an effective collection system, right? And one of the methods is the billing and metering method. And this method ensures that you have sub-metering. There are three methods there: sub-metering, ratio billing system, So we call it ratio utility billing system, which is RUBS, right? We'll explain it later as we go. And we'll have the smart metering. Now, these are the three methods that are being used in multi-tenant environment to collect or to charge based on, charge a rate, for your cost recovery. Now, the first one is the sub-metering, which many communities are used to. So you have a main meter, right? And you have individual tenant meter. Now, this is a very, very good and effective model because it ensures that everybody pays for what they use. It ensures that people, start thinking about how to reduce their costs, right? It also ensures that people you would get data to identify any inefficiencies in the system. So sub-metering is a very, very good method. But of course, I've always said that sub-metering solves just 40% of problems in terms of energy in a community. In fact, sometimes when you put sub-metering, right, if you don't have a proper partner or a proper system, you may even run into more trouble, especially when there are theft, there are losses within the system, and things like that. So sub-metering is one of the methods, right, which most persons here know. The second is the ratio utility billing system. Now, what this says is that, oh, I'm going to charge you per square meter. I'm going to charge you per number of flats you have. I'm going to charge you per number of appliances you have in your apartment, right? We know some face me, I face you back then that uses this method. They go to individual. In fact, there are some malls and shops that still use this method. They go to your shop, they see, oh, you have iron, you have fan, so they count it as points, right? And they use that point to bill you your energy, or they do it per square meter. Well, this method solves the problem, but is highly ineffective. In fact, the smart metering method is far better than this, because when you put this system into place, you face a lot of trouble, in terms of managing costs. Some persons, have equipment that you can have two irons at a point, but this iron can be times 4 or times 5 the other person's iron, or things like that. Or somebody might even have a smaller space, but is also consuming more energy than somebody who do not have, who have more spaces. So this method is highly ineffective, but we have people who use that. Now, the last method is the smart metering method, which is where we are at IOBOTECH, right, currently. Now, what we do, or what this method is an intelligent method that enables each of the residents, each of the users, the management to track their energy consumption, right? It helps them to understand how much energy is being used per hour, per day, and also benchmarking with how much it is costing them to produce that energy. So this is where we need to be currently in our smart metering plan all over, right? It also helps with remote management. You can remotely activate the meter, remotely see the consumption, remotely trip up the meter, remotely see the person's balance and everything, right? It also enhances customer or consumer engagement. Now, someone is saying, oh, why are we charging 280? Of course, this is just a disclaimer that IOBOTECH does not set tariff in estates. So we are not the ones that set tariff. We do not set tariff in any community we stay, or we deploy our software. We are a solution provider. We deploy the software, the infrastructure to manage power and communities. We are not the primary admins, that decide how these communities will run. So, but This smart metering technology will enhance your customer engagement with from the system. You receive energy saving tips. It tells you your consumption pattern. It helps you to plan. It tells you when your credit will even finish if you do not plan properly, right? And this is a very, very good, method. And also, it tells the facility management on what to do to save or to reduce their cost, because the cost is what determines your tariff. Most of the facilities we have are not set up to survive. Most of the facilities we have are not set up to survive because in the energy space, because for most facilities, you have an oversized generator. For most facilities, the start point when the facility comes out new, right? You don't have full occupancy, and then you have a generator that has been deployed to take care of that full occupancy. And in that way, your cost will be high, and several other things that makes these facilities not running smoothly currently. So for us, we are deploying smart metering solution, smart energy loggers, smart remote monitoring solutions that enables you to understand your facility at the tip of your finger. Now, we want to talk briefly about challenges and the high cost in these facilities, right? One is the escalating energy costs. Property managers face this financial pressure from escalating energy tariff or the cost. We've seen times where an estate or a community or a mall was moved from band B to band A. Many property managers face serious issues, right? Thankfully, those who reached out to us were able to assist them fully in order to recover their costs, right? So tariff can just move from A to B, and in fact, from what we're seeing, tariffs, in terms of the disco or the grid tariff, may even still move soon. So this is a challenge, that facility managers face, or property managers faced. The second is there are multiple factors that does not help them to predict how they can manage their costs. So for example, you cannot determine how many hours for sure your power will be available from the grid in a month. Because if NEPA, to be called, right, or the DISCO, the distribution company, do not provide you maximum source of power, then you will depend more on your diesel generator. And when you depend more on your diesel generator, your cost will be high. So this is a very big challenge for property managers. They don't know, they cannot determine how many hours when NEPA would decide to just switch off, their light, and they have to depend on generator. The second also is, for some property managers that do not have sub meters, right? It's also a big headache. I wonder how they survive, right? Because you would not know how to fairly allocate electricity tariff for each person, which is very, very difficult, right? And the last is lack of visibility. You cannot manage what you do not measure. And I think it's best you write down. You cannot manage what you do not measure. And that is what is affecting many facilities. There's no data. They are not measuring it, right? So which is why you don't have a real-time data, you don't have a real-time monitoring device that will detect the inefficiencies and implement savings into your property or into your community, right? And what this have at the end of the day is increased expensive. You see, the property manager will be shouting, oh, my cost is going up, expenses are going up. the resident will also be shouting too and complaining. Satisfaction will be reduced, right? Because the residents or the people serving will not be satisfied, and the profitability will also decrease, right? So which is the impact of these challenges. Now, causes of high tariff, we've talked about that. Increased demand from load, right? Regional factors based on where you are staying, your tariff might differ. Volatile fuel prices, complex market demands, right? These are things that causes high tariffs. Now, billing and management challenges also, right? So fair cost allocation for facility managers that do not have sub-metering. If you don't have sub-metering, please, today, reach out to us. We will provide you sub-metering that is effective, smart metering solutions that is very, very effective for you to use. Lack of visibility. If you do not have, as a facility manager, not monitoring your energy, right, end to end, reach out to us today, right? At the end of this program, Buzo would give out the details, or please will give out the details of how you can reach out to us. And I think also we can do, Buzo, we should also give one or two property managers on this call a device, right? Those that are really ready to work with us, for them to test run and see and help them reduce and bring data that will help them reduce their costs, right, in their community. And operational risk, which is one of the challenges, cumbersome data access, which is also another challenges. Now, these are case studies. I want to talk about real case studies that we have seen, right? Now, the first case study is a retail client. So you think about a retail client like those who are in fast foods, right? That have multiple outlets. They are having issues with tariffs. They are having issues with how much they spend on energy. And what did we do? We implement an energy monitoring device that was saving them combined over $700,000, right? From just 44 locations, we're able to reduce their cost by 6%. And what do we do? Of course, like I have said it on this call, that the cheapest source of power is still your grid, is still NEPA. NEPA is still the cheapest source of power. Yes, we can also talk about renewable energy now coming to compete in that space, but NEPA, as we know now, is still the cheapest source of power. So what did we do? We ensure that you do not, the generator is not running when it's supposed to be off, right? And then yes, we ensure that generator is not running when it's supposed to be off, and other energy savings technology that we use. If you also want to know very, very deep on how we did this, please, you can reach out to us and we'll do that for you. And also, we had a telecom site that we're able to also reduce energy costs for. We also have communities also that we're able to, and in fact, just to talk about that, right, there was a community where they have 3 generators. They have 1,000 MVA generator, have an 800 and something MVA generator, and they have a 550 kVA. So 800 kVA, 500 kVA, 1 MVA. That's 1,000 kVA. I mean, yes, 1,000 kVA generator. So basically, what did we observe? We observed that with our energy monitoring solution that we deployed, at the point where they were supposed to be using 500 kVA generators, they were putting on a 1,000. And that 1,000 was costing them thereabout, I think, over 270 liters per hour. And the 500 was costing there about 100, I think maybe up to 150 or there about liters per hour. So when we look at the cost, you see, and of course, one thing is that the operators of those generators don't care about how much you're spending, right? There might be power, they might refuse to. Just 10 minutes or 20 minutes not changing power might also cost you more in your energy. So there are a lot of things that would increase your energy costs, which in a way affect your tariff. Our smart metering solution is what you need because you have your real-time energy tracker. For those who are residents here, you need to understand how much you are using in your energy per hour, per day. You reach out to us. For communities, right, you get tamper detection, being able to detect when everybody tampers, right, when we deploy our full smart metering solution, automated billing, right, and you have a centralized dashboard. And their energy management system, for example, I think someone was talking about why the community is charging 280 or why we're charging 280 kilowatt. We do not charge 280. So if your community is charging 280, you need to tell them to reach out to us, then we'll look at it, give them advice on what if there is anything to be done. Also, from your own side, ensure you reduce your waste, energy waste. Look at your AC system, your lighting system. If you have an inverter, solar inverter system, you look at it, the way it's being charged, and you can reach out to us to do an audit for you, and we give you energy savings tips that will be good for you. We also are trying to run a model with one of our partners for communities. So you have the communities, and if you can get 70%, 67% of those communities that want renewable energy integration, so that you are sure of your grid costs and the diesel is being taken care of. You are not putting on diesel unnecessarily or at all, right? Ensure that 70% or if 100% can be achieved of your residents go on solar. So we have a partner that we're running a decentralized solar renewable system integration. If you need that, you can reach out to us, and then we can share more details of this in order for you to reduce your tariff in your communities. So this is how much we can take, right? We are on a goal to transform your energy in your community. The next step for you is to schedule a consultation with us. We would analyze your energy needs. We will bring up a tailored energy optimization strategy for you, and we'll become your partner in your energy management journey. Thank you very, very much for taking out the time to join us on this call. I think I'll hand over to Peace, and we'll take it up from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asian, for that insightful representation on energy tariff structure in gated communities and shopping mall. I feel like one key takeaway for me was when you mentioned you can't manage what you can't measure, and that is very, very precise. So we'll move on now into our Q&A session. So for all our participants, once again, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining. So this is your chance to ask questions related to today's topic. You can either raise your hand to ask your questions live, or you can type it into the chat box and I'll read it out loud. So please, if you have any question, please kindly use the raise your hand option. Oh, I can see Mr. Ojo Cycling. Okay. And Mr. Okay. So let's first start with Mr. Ojo, please. Thank you. Mr. Ojo, you have the floor. Mr.
Can you
Ojo,
unmute yourself?
Mr. Ojo, please, you can proceed. Okay. I don't think Mr. Ojo is. Mr. Ojo, please, are you still here with us? Okay, while we wait for Mr. Ojo, Mr. John Bosco, you can proceed, please.
Okay. Hi, good day, guys. Good afternoon. I believe most of us are currently in Nigeria. Yeah. So my name is Omebej Webkadum Bosco, and I think I'm one of. I live in a community where your solution is deployed, so that's why I'm part of this meeting. Yeah. So hope you guys can hear me, please.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you, proceed.
Okay, that's great. So my first question is this, right? Because I heard the part on the different kind of how the tariff is derived and all those details. My number one question is this: whose obligation is it to communicate to the community members how their tariff is actually being derived, based on if it is on this or is on that, or whose obligation is that?
All right. Thank you very much. That was a very good question. So, for tariff computation, I think it's a community thing. Everybody needs to be carried along, and also the numbers or the variables that is used to compute the tariff needs to be transparent and available to all, right? Like I said, for us, we just provide the platform and the solution, for the communities to manage, the power, right? But we do not determine that. But however, for the determination of tariff, it's a community thing, right? And for some communities, they have elected ESCO members, which are the association, members of a small number of the residents or landlords that become that, right? For some communities, they have a facility management company. For some communities, maybe the developer is still the one that is still managing the power, right? So, in a nutshell, for determination of tariff, it's the community thing, right? And for those who are now tasked to do that, the data that they have used to determine the tariff needs to be transparent and available to everybody.
Okay, thank you. So in nutshell, what I get from you is that for me to get that information, I need to reach out to my facility managers because they are the
Yes.
ones. So
Yes.
in a nutshell, that is what it is.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Bosco, for your question. So we're still taking in couple more questions. So if you haven't submitted yours yet, you can either do that by raising your hand or by typing in the chat. But then we would like all our participants to please fill out the feedback form. Your input is very important to us and it helps us improve further webinars and ensures we are delivering content that is valuable to you. And we truly appreciate your time and feedback. So please, you can as well fill in the feedback form. It's already in the chat box, so you can please use the link in the chat box. Okay, so we have more people that want to ask questions here. Okay, I will allow Mr. Ojo. Mr. Ojo, you have the floor now, please. You can unmute your mic and speak. Mr. Ojo, please, you can unmute your mic and speak. You've been given access. Okay. While we wait for Mr. Ojo, Mr. Michael, please, you have the floor.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone on this platform. I just joined a little bit late because I had a meeting scheduled with some of our customers. Okay, I just ran into the last aspect of why Mr. Exian was explaining issues concerning those who take charge of the tariff. My question now is, okay, we know we have tariff from the PACL, and there are different grade of tariff A, B, C. How do we marry your tariff? When I mean your tariff in the sense that I know the community or the resident or wherever that reside within that part of the location where your meter is installed, read in concurrent with that of which the PACL supplies, because sometimes the resident goes to other places and they complain that the tariff, for instance, now let me say in a community of about 1,000, the tariff is about 75 kilowatt. That's where they peg it. While the one that is supplied by PACL is about for band B is 64 point something. Yeah, we can understand with that because they have population, and however they want to run their energy, including that of NEPA and diesel that they will consume, will not bring them to the point where they will not be able to manage the facility well. Now, in our own case, Mr. Ezen know where I'm coming from. In our own case, we are like 54, and I still think that the tariff at 170, because we decided to bring it down to 170 for 250, is not reflecting that which the NEPA gives. So how do we checkmate the difference between what NEPA gives to the community where I reside and what the meter reading is based on your apps that we use? That's my question. Thank you.
All right. That's a very, very good question. So the first thing we have this product where we call the energy benchmarking, right? And for the energy benchmarking, we mirror or we benchmark, right? Or compare. Let's just compare how much energy is being sent into your community and how much is being used or recharged, right? So when we do that, and that comparison is done on the app in real time. Now, if the meters you have are meters that are smart meters that you can get data, you see the consumption and things like that, we will compare how much is being sent versus how much is being used in the community. So, for example, the last hour now, right, or this hour that will close by 2 o'clock, 200 units of energy was consumed in this community. And when we add everybody's consumption together, it is equal to, let's say, 185. Then we know that, okay, 15 units is missing. We need to look for it, where it went to. So that is on one side. For your community, what can now be done is, if your meters are not meters that we can do the online thing on, we can compare how much recharges is done versus how much we are consuming. And our system, of course, the mathematics is the total recharge must be greater than consumption. Total recharge must be greater than consumption. If not, you would face energy losses or you'll be losing power in that community. So I think the first step is to engage us. We can come in, like we say, analyze the energy need, and come up with tailored solution optimization strategy for you. Then if your community is ready, we can deploy the energy monitoring device that will compare or mirror or benchmark what you are being sent versus what is being used or recharged, right? Then on the case of the 170, like you said, it's the community that determines that. So if the PACN or the NEPA or the DISCO that we know, and you are on band A, which is about 225, and your community decides to charge at 175 and it's still meeting up, it's not a problem, right? So it is still the community that determines, that. I don't know if I'm able to answer that question.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm clear about it now.
All right. So we would also reach out to you later, and see if there's more things we can do for your community to ensure there is data because you need data, right? Data in terms of how much you are using per day. And then it will also help you, even before your bill comes from the PACN, you should know that, okay, this is how much I'm expecting to pay. And if there's any difference in it, you can escalate it. So we'll reach out to you later on this. All right. I think there are still other questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Michael, for your question. Mr. John,
Yes.
Mr. Ojo, I mean.
Is it?
Okay, Mr. John, you can go on.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys again. I mean, like, this is a nice initiative. Yeah. So, please, I just have one more question, right? So, on your application, when we were migrated to your solution, I think that should be sometime earlier this year, we had an issue with the facility management, right? Because your application, that is prepared meter, we are being charged 1,000 naira monthly. So whether I use the application or I don't use it, right? I mean, that sum is always being accumulated for me. Now, my question is this. Is that a prerequisite on your application, or is it part of what I need to discuss with my facility management?
Yeah, so it's a prerequisite on our application, right?
Okay, is a prerequisite on your application?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Like I said, our feedback form is available on the chat box. Please kindly fill it out because we really appreciate your and value your input. It means so much to us. So please fill in the feedback form. Thank you so much. Mr. Ojo, please. Are you ready now? Your question. You've been raising up your hand. Mr. Ojo? Okay. Any other question? Please, if you have any other question, you can just raise your hand. All right. I think no more questions. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for it. Okay. Thank you. We have Mr. Adams Olaiton here. Okay. Mr. Adams, you can unmute your mic and speak. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Adams, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, please. I don't want to ask much. How can I go about this? What's it called? Like the submarine thing you guys talk about. How can I go about it?
So the what?
The submarine thing or smart something monitor you guys talk about. I
Okay,
joined late.
this one.
Yeah, how can I go about it, please? Hey, I can't hear you guys. The network is bad. Sorry, please, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so please, how can I go
Yes,
about the what's it called? The smart monitoring.
the submitting. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just send hi to this number. We will schedule
Okay.
a consultation, right? And we'll reach out to you. Then we'll take it up from there. I just dropped the number on the chat box.
Okay.
All right. So just also very, very quick. We are also, of course, we want a very, very collaborative effort with, property managers, ESCO, residents that are using this app. And if there's anything you think we can improve on, we'll be ready to do that. We're coming up with a version 4.0 admin application, right, which is also very, very far transparent. We'll also work and reach out to you as facility managers from time to time, give you early access, get your input so that we really build something that will solve the energy need in the community. Our focus is solving energy problems, energy solutions in communities where we live. And we believe that if we work together, we will be able to solve that. So Peace, you can give your final comment and if there's any other announcement so that we can round this and close this up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Once again, I want to appreciate everyone that took time out of their busy schedule to join this meeting. Like I said earlier, we, the IBOTECH team, we appreciate your efforts. We truly commend you guys. Thank you very much. And I would like to hand over to Mr. Chibuzo for any further announcement. Thank you. Mr.
Sorry, we
Chief,
can't hear you again.
can you hear me? Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you
All
actually.
right. Okay, so I don't think Mr. Chi is still here. So I'd like to hand over to Mr. Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel, please, you can round it up. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. We want to appreciate every facility managers, users, and all our team members from IOBOTECH as well. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your contribution. And we have seen some of your comments, and we will surely work on them in order to improve subsequent programs. Thank you very much, and wishing you all the best. Thank you.